I call James Shaw.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I rise to speak on the Standards and Accreditation Bill. I'd like to start by commending the previous speaker for the passion with which he spoke to this topic. I wanted to... So some of the previous speakers have mentioned the spirit of cooperation that the Select Committee undertook its work on the Standards and Accreditation Bill, and I found that the process has been collaborative and thoughtful, and I particularly want to commend the people who made submissions on the quality of their submissions as well, because they were intelligent and well thought out, very well informed, and very, very useful to the work that we were doing as we were considering the bill. The Green Party supported the bill through the first stage to Select Committee, and we are broadly supportive of the intention of the bill. However, we do have some concerns about it, which at this point have not been addressed sufficiently, and so we will not be supporting the bill through the next stage unless those concerns can be addressed. So there are three concerns. First of all, does it solve the financial sustainability problem? Does it actually do the job that it was designed to do? The second concern is about the perception of independence, and the third concern is about the trend of scooping up statutory bodies into MB, which the previous speaker just referred to. In relation to the first one, does it do the job that it was designed to do? So we know that the current system of standards design and processing actually is not financially sustainable over the long term, and there are significant bottlenecks in getting through the amount of work, the work program that needs to be undertaken to get New Zealand standards completed. However, we're unconvinced that the bill as it's currently designed actually enables for that process to be any more or significantly more financially sustainable over the long term, or to be able to produce a number of to expand the program of work significantly. So I actually, when I was in the United Kingdom, was involved in a couple of standards processes with the British Standards Institute, one of which was around ethical fashion, fair trade fashion, and the second of which was around smart metering. And as some of the submitters said, it kind of takes the amount of time to make a standard that it takes. You know, it's a process that has a beginning, middle and end, and you can't really compress that a great deal. So the only way that you can get through many standards at once is by having parallel processing, to actually be handling a number of different standards, having a lot of different processes at the same time. And a number of different submitters actually pointed to this and said that they could not see how this new system that was being designed was going to enable a great deal more work to get done in parallel, in terms of parallel processing of different standards. The second concern that we had is about the perception of independence. So I accept the points that the government has been making about the independent board and the number of kind of checks and balances that have been built into the system as it's designed, so that it does kind of have that independence from the ministry and ministers. The problem here is actually one of perception. So a number of people have referred to tonight to the submission from Standards Australia, who actually said in their submission over the phone to us that if we put this system in place, that they could not see how they would be able to continue to cooperate with us on future standards. And given that we have such a huge level of integration with Australia and with other bodies around the world, particularly the UK and European jurisdictions, that's really concerning, that if they perceive that we are, that our standards body is not independent, that they will actually kind of withdraw cooperation from us. And one of the earlier speakers tonight talked about the extent to which standards underpin our trade, consumer guarantees, and so on, and it's sort of part of the system of global trade that we're obviously so heavily integrated into. So that's a concern that also hasn't yet been met. The third one, which is sort of a more general concern, is that this government does have a kind of habit of scooping up independent bodies and putting them in particular into MB, and that is a sort of a trend that has concerned us, and there have been a number of bills that we've spoken on over the last several years about that, and this kind of continues that trend as well. So that's more of a general concern. So we are actually open to supporting the bill, but we do want really those two first sets of concerns, which is how does this, can we see how this actually enables a great deal more financial sustainability? Can we see how it really enables a significant increase in parallel processing of different standards at the same time? Does the bill actually do the job that it's designed to do? Does it fix that problem? And second is the perception of independence. So we did raise that in Select Committee, and my own concern with that was that essentially we were kind of told, well, don't worry about it. It has these kind of, it has an independent body. It's not really a concern. It's not really a valid concern. But I think, if it's a concern of some really significant stakeholders, both inside the country and in terms of our partner trading countries, then it kind of doesn't matter what our opinion is about it. It matters what their opinion and what their perception is, and that to me has not yet been resolved. And I kind of felt that the response that we got was too sort of blasé about that. But if the government can help us to overcome really those two primary concerns about the financial sustainability and whether it achieves the purpose, and secondly this one about the perception of independence, then we would be open to changing our vote and voting for the bill in its final stages. So we'll be looking for some SOPs from the government in the committee stages of the bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.